and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, please be with us today as we go about our ways, making and do what's best for the county, make the best decisions we can, be with everybody as they go on their way today to their families and back home. Dear Lord, keep them safe in this weather that we're having here. Dear Lord, I ask this in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
And that's since Kevin's like in warmer weather, and Kerry called him and said it's 82 where he's at. So. Oh, thanks for rubbing it in.
The consent agenda is on the board, has been published. The effective date for Mike Sumter, I bumped that up to 1/16 instead of 1/15, as some of your records show, because 1/15 is a holiday. So other than that, everything is presented. Motion?
I make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
And I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, Kendra.
I
I
like
told you
the,
this better be good.
I like the picture.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
I like that. Thank you.
Yes.
That's awesome.
There's extras up here if anybody wants one. I know it's special material, so. I'm Kendra Graham. I'm Extension Engagement Specialist with Extension here in St. Francis County. And we're going to give a short summary. We give a quarterly report about Extension activities. This would be for the fall up through December 31st. And so our 4-H youth program is pretty strong. On here I have a summary of 2023 in review. And according to Janet and Casey, there was 393 enrolled 4-H members. That does not count some of our school clubs because they enroll as a group. And so sometimes we don't have those individual numbers with the schools. We have 3 school clubs and 8 traditional clubs that meet outside of schools. For the county fair, we had 350 kids exhibit separate items in the building, and then we had 300 livestock exhibits. So some of those are multiple kids, but we still have those kids extremely involved in the fair, and that's pretty neat to see the hard work that they put in. Also with those 4-H clubs, mainly the traditional ones, they do service hours, and we have over 500 service hours racked up between those 8 clubs that those kids do. One of them over in Bismarck at the Owl Creek area, they packed meals for individuals in need. They had a list of individuals that needed meals, and so they got together and packed those. And that's not a very big club, and so that's pretty neat. They had 75 bags that they distributed. For the livestock side of it, if you have heard, we have filled the livestock position that I previously held. That person will start July 1, simply because he has to finish out his teaching contract. That person is Mike Graham. So again, he'll be starting in July. So I'll still be doing a little bit of livestock activities up until then, just to kind of try to fill in some holes. On this sheet, Katie Kamler is our horticulture specialist. She's based out of St. Genevieve, but she always gives a great summary of kind of the questions that she's answered over the year. If you look at, grab a hold of the sheet, she kind of lists out some of the questions. Some of them are pretty doozies, but she basically answers your horticulture gardening questions relating to tomatoes and squash and so forth, but also trees, chemicals, ponds, and so she does a lot of diagnosing of diseases too. And so if you ever need that type of help, then call us. We can either take pictures or whatnot and send to Katie, or she can do a farm visit and help you diagnose some of your problems with gardens and trees, landscaping, and so forth. For the Show Me Select program with our livestock, we had a great season in 2023, and 2 sales that are held at the Farmington Regional Stockyards. grossed over $583,000 in 2023. And so that's about 20 producers, and you're looking at about 300 heifers that sold in both of those sales. And the last thing we have is our nutrition program. Alyssa Boyer gets into the schools, and so far she has gotten into reach over 4,100 kids in St. Francis and St. Genevieve schools. She also has really started a good relationship with the Central Middle School. They have a great science teacher in their 6th to 8th grade program, and they're trying to establish a garden there at the school to where they're growing food for the cafeteria. And so they've started right now doing composting and working with their worms and trying to build that up, hopefully to be able to feed the kids at school. So the last thing I want to say is we have our Extension Council elections coming up. Next week starts most of those. If you don't live in St. Francis County, there's one in every county, but you're welcome to either come down to the office and vote, or we have an online portal that you're welcome to go to extension.missouri.edu St. Francis and be able to find that and vote.
Okay.
Questions? Is that good enough?
That was good.
Okay.
Question totally unrelated. My neighbors are tiling their fields.
Okay.
How does that affect subsoil moisture, the creeks, the springs, all around?
So you may have a short-term increase in water in the creeks during a rain event, but you're going to have less soil being washed down into those creeks because of that tiling. So, you know, we have less erosion with that, and so those plants are able to stay and be held, that root system be stayed held instead of being washed in certain areas. They're actually focusing that water flow. So you may see a little bit of increase in your creek for a short period.
Okay, but the creeks will still flow the same amount of water? total?
Should, yes. That shouldn't affect the water flow. It's just directing it differently.
Well, I've lived there 24 years, and for the first time, my springs have gone dry.
Really.
Yes. Now, it's a drought.
It is a drought. And it was it's been 2 years in a row that we've had issues.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of springs that have went dry.
Yeah.
So-
Permanently?
What?
Permanently?
I don't know that it's
Well,
permanently, but
I'm talking about the tiling.
I don't know that the tiling is gonna affect your springs so
I
much.
hope not, yeah.
It's supposed to be mainly for water surface runoff.
Okay. All right. Okay, any other questions?
Yes.
Kendra, this new livestock specialist, are you confident he is qualified for the position?
Do you know him?
Well, I do know him.
Do you know him?
Yes, this is my husband. Qualified, yes, he will be able to ask questions, so the former livestock specialist fairly easily, so has a little bit of support base.
Is he retiring from
He's
teaching?
retiring from teaching, yes.
I suspected that when you said that, okay.
Yes. Teaching in Frenchtown, he's taught 24 years. So,
So you got him this job so you wouldn't have to put up with him at home.
that's right.
Any other questions? Thank you, Kendra, good job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now this requires some explanation. We pay on the per capita basis of population for our 4 counties in the 24th Judicial Circuit District. And I looked up the actual 2020 census numbers, run the total, and figured the percentage. Now, there's some mathematical differences. Officially, that's 54% for us, for the county. Now, I prefer that number because that's 1% cheaper for us that way. But those are my numbers, and I think it's all in rounding. But when you, our part of this bill is the $12,388.50, and I just show what the total would be based on that 55%. So, do I have a motion for approving the circuit judges our share of that bill for 24?
Okay. I make a motion that we pay $12,388.50 for our part of the operational cost for the 24th Judicial Circuit
I'll
for
second
fiscal
that.
year of 2020.
Second, any questions?
Bless you.
Yeah, Rich?
Does that court meet here in our court, or do they go around?
This circuit judge.
They are circuit.
Circuit
okay.
judge. And you'll see another bill coming up pretty quickly about the marshal. and she escorts them for safety.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, all in favor of approving this 12,388.50, let's say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Now, the next two slides are the same thing, different office and different dollar amounts, but you see the same, you won't see it, there's the explanation. Okay, Circuit Marshal, our share is $38.98.25. I make a motion we approve this.
I'll second that.
Questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
And I will say, I don't know what all this covers. Obviously not labor. So I don't know if it's office supplies and fuel and travel and all those expenses or not. I was hoping that, some of our auditors that are on top would be here, but I didn't ask.
I think it's self-explanatory. Operational is for the continual operation of the office itself. Does not include the salary.
Okay, and third one and last one of this order is a circuit court reporter. And our share is $30.83.36. Motion?
Okay, I make a motion, we pay that part of our cost for the 24 Judicial Circuit Court Reporter, our share being $3,083.36.
For 24. I second that. Any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. Now, reappointment for the Developmentally Disabled Board. Holly Joyce is the board chairman. They've asked that her term be renewed. And motion?
I make a motion to reappoint Holly Joyce as the Developmentally Disabled Board.
Okay. There you go. I second that. Questions? And on the letterhead, they call her a chairman, by the way. I checked that. Okay. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, approval for 2 new servers. Mr. Nick. I have a question in green for you there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Linda. Sorry.
She always picks the worst seat in the house.
Nick Jones, IT Director. I'm actually presenting this on behalf of the sheriff. So our current jail records management system we have is Spillman, and it's time to upgrade our server. Right now, we do not have a backup server, so with this upgrade, we are wanting to do 2 servers where they will mirror each other, so we actually will have a backup for our information. It's a 5-year contract, and that covers the 2 servers, the transfer of data from our current server to our new server, all the licenses that we'll need on it, as well as for 5 years, they will maintain it, make sure everything's up to date. If any kind of licenses need to be renewed, they will renew it under the service agreement. You see there, the first year is $179,037.47. After that, every year it'll be $36,892.80. And it will come out of the sheriff's budget.
And you want the 5-year contract?
Yes, if we go with what they propose, it will be a 5-year contract.
Okay.
We have to act pretty quickly on this because our current server, our virtual machine software expires at the end of March. So we have to do something no matter what we decide to do. If we lose our virtual machine, it'll still run, but if there's any hiccups in the system, we can't restart the server. We can't fix the problem. If our current server only has a little over 3 terabytes of storage, these are going to have 18 apiece, and we are almost at max on our storage.
19 terabytes?
Yes. With the capability going up to 96. So they said if we do hit the 18, it's covered under the maintenance agreement to go ahead and add more drives.
A lot of this storage is because of body cams and.
Yeah, and we're got better camera system at the jail, and we're actually downloading and putting more video footage in the system itself.
How long would it take them to put in this new system if we act today?
After we get done here, if it's acted on, I will call them and they will start the process. They're telling me that they can have us up and going before our virtual machine software ends. If for some reason we hit a snag, what they'll do is they'll take the virtual machine software for this one and put it on that one until we can get everything migrated over, but there will not be any loss of service.
What happens to the old servers?
We'll put them in the basement and hold on to them for now. with the lawsuits and everything, we have to have all that on hand, so if they ever get anything off of it, we still can.
So the new, that won't be,
No,
that information won't
That
be.
information will come across.
It will go
yes.
across, okay.
Yes.
So you have it in two places, the older information?
Yes. Actually, 3 places, we'll have it on the 2 servers.
And it's covered in their budget, right? This is, so.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Okay, motion.
All right, I make a motion for approval of the 2 new servers for the 5-year contract of $326,608.67
And
with sheriff's, and be paid out of sheriff's budget.
now Spellman Flex and, yeah. I second that. Any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you, Nick. Okay, now this is open for discussion. Buck first mentioned this to me a week or 2 ago, and he mentioned that the $100 is probably too low for the asset list of the county. I put on $500. Buck suggested $200 to $250. And question 1, should we change this amount? Anybody got any opinions?
We've talked about this for the last couple of years, possibly bumping it up to the 250.
Okay.
And we also got a suggestion email
Yeah,
from
Louis had some work on that.
Amber and Louis that 250 would probably be better,
Okay.
so.
Well, the first question is, should we change the amount? Does everybody agree that it
Yes.
needs to be changed?
Yes.
Okay, I go with that.
Is this something that's good for you guys, Louis?
Sure, yeah.
Well, I mean,
It won't change the reporting system, it'll just change the amount.
What goes on? And nothing will come off, even if it's $105, it won't come off with this. But if we buy another $105 item, it won't go on. Basically, I think is the way you said that. So, okay, so now to what amount? Buck said 200 to 250, what do you guys think?
I mean, that seems to be pretty fair for us.
You know,
Louis' office was
In-
said 250.
in the spirit of not sounding unconservative, I just think higher the better. I mean, 500 would be fine, but if 250 is a step in the right direction.
Okay. Any other input on this? Okay, motion.
I make a motion, we change the minimum value on the asset list to $250.
Okay, effective when? Now?
I guess that would be all right. Effective, yeah, immediately.
Okay. I second that. Questions? How about?
What kind of issues has this caused? In other words, what's the issue between 100 and whatever we raised it to?
So what we see is the increased cost in those goods. Maybe it's tools or
You can't buy anything for
now is over
$100.
$100. So, you know, it increases the work on the auditor's office as well as each department for what we're inventorying.
And of course, their department, speaking of road and bridge, their department is gonna be a lot higher than, say, you know, Mark's or Eric's office, you know, or the auditors, anybody in this office. So, of course, they would say 500, and I'd like that, but we need to keep
I
it.
think, like Clay said, 250 is a step in the right direction.
Yes.
It's,
I mean, there's certain batteries for some of our wireless or cordless tools. The battery itself's over $100.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah,
a
of
lot
course you can buy
instances
them,
there.
the tool only.
Huh?
You can buy them tool only.
Yeah.
Then you have to go back and buy the battery.
Right, yeah, right.
Okay, any other input? Okay, all in favor of changing the minimum amount to $250 effective immediately, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Okay, grievance committee reappointment, and there are the names that have served, and we would like to just renew them for another year. I make a motion that we extend those appointments. Second?
Well, when I made my call and said, okay, I'd do it, she said, don't worry, Harold already said you're in it, so I might as well second that.
Got a question whether you can vote.
Ah.
Now, there's a rule that says if there's a tie vote, the presiding commissioner's vote wins. Well, that's true, that is the law.
Well,
That
yes,
is law.
and you're right. So, but from what I understand though, is in this committee, you know, of course, we hear the grievance, it's brought to us, and then we actually turn it over to the commission because we are only give our opinion,
Advisory.
advise. So even though I'm on it, yeah, you may always have that vote that I either voted either way, and then when I come in here, I vote. But that's only one person. So you still need 2 votes to make it happen. As you said, if it was you and I, you would be the tiebreaking vote.
Okay, yeah, Rich?
Does this really need to be voted on now with Carrie not in attendance? Shouldn't you wait for the full commission? I mean, is there a time problem with this?
No.
No, we could. We're already on that board. It's just something we're reappointing. So if we want to wait for Carrie, that's completely up to you.
It's just a thought. I mean, you know.
Maybe
what if
Carrie
I don't-
wants to
what
do
if
it.
I don't like you on the board?
Maybe Carrie wants to do it, right?
So I just, with you on the board.
Yeah.
And you making a vote, I think it'd be more appropriate if the full commission was in place before you make the vote.
And then David could abstain, maybe. Okay, let's table this.
That's good.
Okay, permission to sell equipment and vehicles, Purple Wave Road Bridge.
Talk about it. It's all right there. John Gross, Highway Administrator. We would like permission to sell some equipment and vehicles on Purple Wave. The dispose of was already taken care of in the consent agenda. So we have a 2005 Dodge. Everything's listed there. They have a lot of miles on them. The dump truck, transmission's out. It needs an injection pump on the engine. It's not worth the money that it's going to take for us to repair it. The John Deere tractor with the side mower, that's an extra mower. We have 5 of them right now, so we're looking to get rid of that.
What's its condition?
Pretty decent shape, but it needs to be sold.
We've got some cities that are looking for tractors,
Okay.
so we
I'll
can
explain that to you.
let them know that it's on the
Yeah.
Purple Wave.
Just trying to clean up some stuff.
It just
Again,
became obsolete for us.
We're actually going through our inventory right now and cleaning it up. So these are just some items that we'd like to remove off that.
Tell me about the trailer.
Trailer, that is a bridge trailer that we
Enclosed box
enclosed bridge trailer that we keep all of our concrete tools in, form pins, saws, everything, and it needs some repair as well. So we're going to sell that and purchase a new one.
What size is it?
7 by 16,
Okay.
and it's actually got a low ceiling height. So if you're 5'10" or taller, you have to duck to get into it.
Just made it. John, on your 2008 Ford Crown Victoria, the old sheriff's car, I know you guys use those as flagging vehicles a lot of times.
We do.
Do you have a replacement for that?
We have 3 of them right now.
Okay,
So
good.
we're looking just to clean
I
up.
just wanted to make sure, or see if you were getting another one from Buck later down the road.
If we don't sell it on Purple Wave because they transferred it to us, we can transfer it back to them and they can sell it. But either way, it's
It
on here
doesn't-
to be approved to
I don't think
to be sold or disposed of.
From what you're gonna get out of that car, I don't think he's really.
It's
gonna-
not gonna be a whole lot.
Is Buck past the point of needing parts for any Crown Vic?
Yes.
Okay, motion.
I make a motion, we give permission to sell the equipment and vehicles Purple Wave for the road and bridge.
Second that, questions? Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, holiday notice will be closed this coming Monday in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s life and legacy. Agenda items must be in by this Friday at 10 a.m. Next meeting will be right here next week. Other business, who has correspondence? Public comments?
Harold,
Yes.
I'd like to revisit Kendra's report and not talking about anybody but Katie Kamler. You know, she's in another county, but she's available to all of us, as all of Extension statewide is, if the person's there who can help. And Katie, we gardeners know her well. And she's old school Extension. She's just a wonderful asset to the program, and I hope that people will think about her when they have questions.
I saw that list of public questions they had, and different things about, I had some questions along that stuff too. Okay, thank you, Carol. Any other public comments? Linda, did you want to say anything at all today? Okay. Departmental reports?
It's not here.
Okay. Well, we have, for the first time, a negative in our sales tax report. Now, notice that we're comparing to last January, which is the best month we had all year. That could have a factor in it. Parks is not here today to help explain. He had several reasons that he thought may have been a factor. But we'll see if that's a continuing trend or if that's whatever. We still collected $1 million plus last month. So it's, it's not like it's devastating, but it is possibly a change in the trend. So we'll have to watch that pretty carefully. Okay.
Harold?
Yes.
Harold, you say sales tax collected year-to-date in 2024, then 2023.
Yes.
Should that be 2022?
No.
But we're only in January of 2024.
Yeah, year to date. It's just that 1 month.
All right, okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's just January. It's the date of the report. So it's effectively December's income.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure
Date of
it
that
out.
report.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. And so, good point. Okay, now, as far as the Prop P, it's use tax, we are kind of on trend of that. That's what we collected in the last month. And again, that's a December collections, but reported in January. And the entire amount has been transferred to the sheriff's department, so that they get everything. So that was part of the
Dan,
promise.
did you see that, Dan? Did you take a picture of that? In case somebody wants to know where it was transferred to.
Oh, yeah.
So Commissioners, the point being, your January 24 collection was up $100,000 compared to January of last year,
Yes.
which would reflect on your actual retail sales tax that you collected from or reported for January.
But look at January compared to the other months last year, and that was a low month. That was when it just kicking in.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So it's the comparison. If you look at the other months for the year, it's still up, but and it's looking good. So that one doing pretty well, I think.